Hello, I'm Rebecca Chaplin from Car Dealer, and you join me for a slightly different video today where we're all going to be wearing masks. I am at Robins & Day, West London, previously a Peugeot site which has been drastically expanded in a £14.5 million project to add in 4 stories and Citroen and DS. We're going to have a look around and find out what it's taken to get to this point. If you're not up to date with the exact workings of the PSA brand these days, those 3 car brands, and now Vauxhall as well, are all owned by the same company. And dealer group Robins & Day, who run this site, are also wholly owned by PSA UK. You've probably seen this dealership before if you've ever driven into South London, as it sits prominently on the Chiswick roundabout. However, the dealership has got even bigger in its latest redevelopment. To get it to this point, the site went under 2 years of renovations, not an easy feat with a pandemic and lockdown happening too. Head of the company, Alison Jones, tells me more.
The challenge with making something like this happen during lockdown is all the practical challenges we've had as we've lived our lives, really. So how can you continue to build, install and finalise a building when you're socially distancing, when you've got all of the PPE that we've spoken about. So it was quite challenging before, but then you add to it the COVID safety and it makes it really challenging. But of course, safety is the most important aspect, and so the team pulled together and we found a way to do it. So the cost of this site is about £14 million. The square meterage you've got is over 10,000 square metres though, so it's really practically done. And in terms of time, it's been, I wouldn't like to say because you have the planning permission and so on, but it's a massive investment, particularly through COVID in terms of time and effort. But actually the end product is amazing in terms of what it offers from a customer experience perspective, the working environment for the colleagues here, and what it says about PSA.
Because there are 3 different car makes on the site and each one boasts its own electric vehicles, PSA has a range of 13 EVs and plug-in hybrids for customers to view here. Something that must be crucial in such a highly polluted area, with traffic building around the roundabout each day as thousands of people use it as a route.
It's important to have low emission vehicles across the entire country and across Europe, but within London it's really topical. So we are saying that we have vehicles that can be driven in emission-free way. So whether you have an electric or a plug-in hybrid, you can make sure that you can have it in emission-free driving style, which really supports what London are trying to do.
This isn't the first time the 3 French PSA brands have come together under one roof in the UK, but it's definitely the first time they've come together in this unique way. Chief Executive of Robins & Day, James Weston, who actually started his career here with the business at this site, gave us a guided tour to find out why it's so special.
So we started our journey where our customers will start. So we're at the Robins & Day West London facility for Peugeot, Citroen and DS. This sector is purely kept for customer parking, but more customer arrivals. So we wanted to try and recreate some of the experience we had when we did a pilot with our DS Urban store in the Westfield Centre. Right. So it's almost the same equivalent as like the VIP parking, so it's the drop off, then seamless walk straight into the business, which we can go through in a second, and then the vehicle does the movement on the various floors, either for after sales or for repairs, whatever it may well be.
And it's so quiet in here compared to outside on that roundabout. Yeah,
and that was really important too, as often the parking at a dealership for the customers is behind the used cars, behind the demonstration vehicles and wherever you can find a space, and it was important for us that it took the centre stage. So when the customers come through again, it's light, it's airy, you're straight into after sales, which is different to the traditional business in that normally after sales is tucked at the back. And clearly one of our goals was to move that. We have obviously our safety protocols to keep us all safe and well. And then you walk into this central atrium with the beautiful natural light coming through, which for me just opens up the whole facility. And even though we're on the first floor already, you can feel that sort of light coming through, it's brilliant. And we have various handover bays as well for the different new cars that are sold. And at this point, you can either walk straight to the after-sales reception with a dedicated DS after-sales reception, or you flow into one of the 3 brands. And each brand obviously retains its own brand identity, its own corporate identity as well in terms of showroom, but with clear demarcation. So again, trying to keep that sort of shopping centre feel, rather than normally when a customer walks in, where am I going? It's really nice and clear, and you walk into the experience.
It's almost like having a showroom front door and then you've got 3 separate showrooms within it.
And that was the goal, because often especially when we're trying to bring three brands together. The customer journey is the key part, and hopefully this has created that really nice natural flow. And as you say, you walk into the different brands and you're hit instantly by not just the superb product that PSA have, but also that corporate identity and the various accessory colours, trims and things.
And so, what was this like before?
Historically, this site was our Peugeot site. And across the road, not far away, we had a Citroen and DS business. So this has been under redevelopment now for many years. The project started about 5 or so years ago in terms of the planning and the different ideas, because what we wanted to do was to build something that's different. We wanted to change the experience behind motor retailing rather than just build a big dealership on layers. We wanted to try and change the customer experience, obviously, for the better, incorporating digitalisation as well, understanding the changing online-offline journey.
And so am I right in thinking you've completely flattened this site?
It was absolutely squashed, which is a shame for me because I started here back in 2001, and yeah, you have to sort of blink twice when you come through and remember where was the old showroom, where was the used car canopy, where was the sort of parking, and yeah, so we've pushed it to the boundaries in every single aspect, then obviously risen the height to make sure we maximise the footprint.
Yeah, and it's 4 stories now?
4 stories, yes, yeah, 4 stories, yeah. So it's 4 stories, 2 floors which the customers will ever sort of entertain, which obviously is the showroom with the height, and then downstairs, which we'll see later, the used car operation, and also the technicians and the workshop area. But from a customer perspective, it's so important they experience that central atrium and that central entrance every time they come to the business, which is really important for us.
This space does feel very unique, and that's largely down to the decision to put every part of the business on show. Putting the service department literally front and centre, framing each brand in their own unique way. Putting the workshop on display behind floor-to-ceiling glass windows, and creating this whole ground floor of used cars right at the roadside has made it unlike any other car dealership in the UK today.
So this is very much a kind of traditional new car showroom, but with used cars in, it feels like.
Yeah, I think the purchase journey of the used car consumer has changed phenomenally. The expectations are changing, and likewise the professionalism in the trade is changing.
Yeah.
So to have your normal, let's call it, exterior used car display, yes, we have that outside the front to get that sort of road frontage, that presence and that awareness. But we wanted to create a different journey and also maximise the footprint and also the height of the building, and make sure the used car operation sat on the ground but take advantage of the space that we've created within the building. But yeah, to be able to, especially as we go into the winter months and the weather starts to change, to have all of these vehicles inside and the ability to not just display them but also to organise test drive and movement of the vehicles was really key to us. And all of the cars were facing forward, and we both walked around and we just didn't get the buzz, and it was like, this isn't right, and we'd just gone traditional.
Right.
Face the cars towards the road, and no, we don't need to, because the flow of customers, the flow of traffic is within as well as external, and suddenly it's changing the format has just lightened the whole building.
I really think if you walked in off the street, you'd be hard pushed to realise that these were used cars as well.
And that's the goal. You know, we prepare the cars to an extremely high standard. There shouldn't be any sort of second best because it's a second-hand car rather than brand new. So we make sure our qualities are really maintained and the preparation standards are done to the absolute maximum. So yeah, to have them under such bright lights and intensity poses no problem. I think when you think of now and also the final quarter, demand we are seeing just strength and consistency and a sustainable level of demand. The interactions on our website are growing, the dwell time is increasing. So we can see the sort of journey of the customer hasn't been impacted. Even in areas of social lockdown, we've seen actually, if anything, a growth and an external or an outdoor used car display. So shifting to this all under one roof is, for us, we're trying to create an entirely new experience. An entirely new experience for the customer, one that they remember, one that they find hard to compare if they are to come and to leave without purchasing. We've made a mark.
Yeah.
And the site makes a mark, it makes a flagship location and puts us back on the map where we obviously historically were with Peugeot. But more importantly, we start a new breed of customer experience, which is so important for the consumer as well moving forward.
And we talked about how you started on this site.
Yes.
And how it was all Peugeot before, wasn't it?
Yes.
So do you feel any kind of like, does it pull your heartstrings a bit to see the other brands move in, or is it just sharing is caring?
No, we have many multi-mark sites up and down the country, and I remember when I started at this site as an assistant sales manager back in 2001, and we're parking up on what was an admin sort of showroom very down the end, and yeah, it's transformed massively. And during the whole, getting the build validated, one of my first roles as CEO to get that done. And that was enormous, and it showed the confidence in the wider group in our ability to deliver profitably. But the actual site itself, it pulls many heartstrings. And seeing it when it was all hoarded up and the pictures behind it, it was just when I want to get inside. And to be here today, unveiling plaques, meeting the team, meeting yourself, and unlocking the potential of this site, it's something I'll never forget.
It's been really interesting to see how they've brought these three very different brands all under one roof in a very, very unique way. But because of the different sites, they've now got these different locations all to unveil in one day. So they're very busy and we're going to leave them to it. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this one, you can head over to our YouTube channel. We are Car Dealer Magazine, or head to our website cardealermagazine.co.uk and just hit the live tab at the top of the page.